All right. Hey there. What's going on, everybody? I'm Christopher Inks with Texas West Capital. It is just after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here on Friday. It's the end of the week, folks. 2025, August the 8th. Hopefully, y'all are doing all right. Looks like Bernardo missed the spa music. Well, I guess he'll have to go back and listen afterward, right? Anyway, hopefully y'all are doing great here, man. What a great week to be trading. And I said this to our members over at the Trading Academy last Friday. And we've just had a great day, a great week actually of trading, set up for us here. And so we're going to go over a few of those charts today. I don't know that I'll be here the full time, maybe closer to 45 minutes or an hour. Just to kind of get, some of this main stuff done. But do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, follow me, all that fun stuff, guys. And I see Fibbo's out here as well. Make sure you're following him on X at Fibbo Swanny, FIBOSWANNY. And of course, you can follow me at TX West Capital, TAL, not TLE or TOL or anything silly like that, okay? Let's get that done. All right, one more thing here. As you can see on the bottom here, we've got a little scrolling banner going on. I guess going that way. If you've been following, we've got some stuff going on right now. I'm telling you guys, you want to jump on this. You're going to get half off on the annual, but here's the kicker. Use that promo code TWOX, the word 2, the letter X, okay? Because you're also going to get a 2X money back guarantee, all right? Long story short, basically, you just got to show up. You got to come in. You got to show up. You put in the work. If you do that over the course of this next year and you aren't a better trader because of it, and we make it really easy, right, to understand what you have to do. We're not making you jump through hoops here. Just show up. Get double your money back. So you're winning either way. Either you become a much better trader, which is what will happen, or if it doesn't, for some weird reason, you're going to get 2 times your money back guarantee. And so much greater return than inflation, right? Than your loss of purchasing power over the next 12 months. And here's the thing, guys. Most people, if they don't know what they're doing in the markets anyway, are going to lose all that money over the next year. You're like, but Chris, it's a bull market. Yeah. So what? There's this nonsense going around where people say, oh, it's, a bull market. Everybody makes money. No, actually, most people are still losing money. And so, what we do at TWC is help you identify where your liquidity is on the charts. This is not the just that straight up SMC stuff or whatever, anything like that. This is legit. Where's the liquidity? And how can you define it? How can you understand it with volume and price action? As well as how can you understand where it's likely to be and where you should be targeting? We do proper risk management because that's the end all be all of trading. I had somebody today on one of my posts on X. I was talking about the trade I did this morning. Took a quick trade this morning, 30 contracts for the micro E-mini contracts there for the S&P. In about less than 45 minutes, ended up running that up to about $3,500 in profit. And so great morning there trading that. But then they're like, oh, but you can just buy in and just wait and it'll go up. It always goes up. Well, it does until it doesn't, right? And most people won't hold through the drawdown. And even if they do, if you're hitting a major top, it may be years before it rallies back up higher. So see, you get people that just started trading here recently, and they don't understand we've been in this secular bull run for about 15 years. But all good things come to an end at some point. And when they do, you're not going to be ready. And everything that you made without using a stop loss, if you were lucky to just buy and hold going up, it's going to come back against you and take it all away and more. That's pretty much the way it works, guys. So don't fall into the nonsense that all you have to do is buy and hold without a stop loss, because it will come back against you. And you don't know how long it's going to stay against you. If all you've been is in the market for the last 15 years, you have a very, very small view of the market, okay? Very small. The reality of it is from right around 98, 2000 until 2010, 2011, somewhere right around there, We were sideways, guys. Yeah, it was a big move up. It was another big move down. I've shown the chart many times before. It was just a large reaccumulation range, which is why we've rallied up now for the last 15 years. But it doesn't always do it. You look in the 70s, you have the same thing for multiple years in the 70s sideways, right? You have the drawdown after 1929, the Great Depression. It took it, what, a couple of decades to actually get back up to that swing high again? You guys have time to sit around and hold for 20 years? Or would you rather lock in profits, protect your downside, and be able to get in if it gives a big drop? You know, these are the things that people aren't thinking about. And you got to be careful out there, guys. You have to be careful out there, okay? Peter, what'd you say there, Peter? One trade the other day paid for your entire year's membership. I love hearing that. I love hearing that. Peter's been with us for a bit here. Alvin's been with us. I've talked about Alvin before. Alvin, man, he's in the audience here. Done absolutely fantastic. He's taking care of his retirement accounts and everything with what he's learned here. But you know, these guys, they get in and they put their mind to it, right? They get in and they do the work. You can't, purchase something and then expect it just to work without you. You have to do it. You have to put in the work. I always tell you guys, discipline, consistency, focus, and effort. You got to have those 4 things. If you're finding reasons to go drinking with your buddies on the weekends instead of studying and becoming better at trading, it's going to take you some time to get there. If you can't put off that fun time stuff where you're just blowing your money and whatever for a few months while you're learning, I mean, that tells you all you need to know about your real commitment to it. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing that you don't, but I'm saying you got to be realistic. It's not just with trading, it's with anything else. If you want to learn something, it's going to take some time to do it. And if you consistently make excuses why you need to do something other than study to learn that thing that you say you want to learn, guess what? You're never going to get it. So whether you're coming to TWC or somewhere else, before we even talk about whether it works or not, are you working? Because so many people just jump in and they say they want to do it and they really don't. And we don't. I want serious traders. I want people that are serious about doing it. I want people like Sats, like Peter, like Alvin, like Andrew, man. Andrew's in here. What's up, man? I want these guys. I want you in here that are serious about actually putting the work in. Because when you do, what we teach works. And we show it because these guys continually over and over again, sitting out there posting for you guys to see that it works. But you can't do it if you don't do it, right? By the way, I got to give Jonathan another applause here. I'm talking about Jonathan a lot lately because Jonathan's one of those guys. He's not in the U.S. He's with us at TWC. And he really has gotten into paid attention to things we talk about, right? He shows up all the time he likes to do trading futures. He likes to do the day trading. And so he shows up every day for our live trading that we have it and all this other stuff. But this week, like Monday, I think it was, he had 100 plus points. Today, he locked in another 100 plus points. Wednesday, I think he had another 40, somewhat 50 points. I mean, it's just 3 days. And if you're not used to trading futures, that's a lot of points, guys. 100 points in a day is just crazy. But anyway, he keeps doing it better and he keeps getting better and better and better. His profit factor continues to rise, which has been fantastic. And, again, he's always posting in there. And so if you're at TWC and you haven't looked in the live trading chat, look in there. Jonathan's always posting in there. He gives you his ups and his downs along the way and lets you know how well he's doing and how he's advancing along the way there. Mr. Awesome says it's a journey. It definitely is. It definitely is. And so I want to say this before we get into everything here, guys, because that is the reality. I've talked to a lot of people here, especially lately, since we've been running this promo that's right there on the low there. And they're like, yeah, I really want to learn. We really want to learn. And then when we start talking about it a bit, they end up finding out, you know what? I really don't want to learn. I mean, I wish it would just be in my head or somebody could do it for me, but I don't really want to put in the effort that's required. I don't want to, I don't want to stop all the other stuff I'm doing that I'm just having fun and goofing around with in order to learn. And again, if that's you, don't even show up. Don't even waste your money. It's just a waste of money. All right. But anyway, we had 20 seats available for this promo when we launched it a few weeks ago. You're just about out of time, guys, with it. So I would say jump on it. You have absolutely nothing to lose. These guys will tell you, again, if I'm giving you a 2x money back guarantee, I'm going to do it. If you're not a better trader, if you're not measurably better at the end of the time with us, then I'm going to give you that money back. Now, I don't believe it's going to come to that because I really believe in what we do works and we've got the folks to prove it. But if it did, it is what it is. Maybe it's just not your thing, or maybe it's just not your thing the way I teach it. Either case, the one thing you're going to learn more, better than anything else is proper risk management. Okay? So let me see here. Yeah, Mike, you're in with us for life, buddy, whether you like it or not anymore. You're in it for life. You're in it for life. But anyway, but they're really great people here. You see some of them here. JoJo's here. Sats is here. These guys, they're great. And they'll talk to you in a heartbeat. They want to meet people. They want to trade together. They don't want to do it by themselves. Because trust me, after doing it for as many years as I did by myself, it's boring. It's lonely. But when you got a group of people in there and you can shoot ideas off each other and charts, that's a lot of fun. What's going on, Michael? I see you there as well. So anyway, what's going on right now? Well, 401ks. 401ks now across the board are going to be able to, you're going to be able to have more alternative investments in them, like crypto, Bitcoin, real estate, different things like that. Here's the thing though. I know somebody mentioned, I mentioned it on a post on X yesterday, I think. And somebody responded and said, well, there's going to be a lot of outflow from ETFs. And honestly, I don't think so. ETFs are still the easiest way for most people to get involved. Okay. And so with that, right. I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here real quick. Yeah. Every ETFs make it easy to get in, right? That's why they've been so powerful. They're easy. They're structured the way you need to for, regulation, especially if you're an institution, stuff like that. But here's the thing. Policy changes can happen like this. So like that policy change, right? But you're not going to see immediate changes. Okay. You're not going to see immediate changes. And like Fibbo's saying here, does not mean the company that runs the 401k will even offer it. Yeah. And that's exactly what I was getting to. So you'll have the policy change and everybody get excited and price is going to, positively move because of that. But it'll take months and even years for that policy to kind of ripple across through all the participants and to even make it a possibility. Okay. So what'll probably happen is your self-run stuff will probably be the first to kind of start implementing it. And then you got to get to the companies that offer that have the 401ks, and they're going to take a while to get in there and, decide if they're even going to do it, offer you the ability to do that in there. And even if they do, it's going to take a while for them to even make it so that it happens. Okay. So just a thought on that. Don't think that right now, because that's happened, because that's been approved, that all of a sudden everybody's going to flock to, the 401ks tomorrow to do it. And all the money's going to, dry up out of the ETFs into that. It's going to take a while for that to have it. Okay. Let me see here. Michael said, what? Personally, my 401k is for my boring investments. I doubt I'd allocate much to crypto there. Not your keys, not your crypto. Damn right. Roth RA is another thing he says, though. ... So, yeah. Anyway, so just some thoughts on that. Now, what else has happened? Ethereum's hit 4,000. That's the first time this year. And we're going to bring up that chart. You're going to see that. We're going to look at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, show you where we're at there. We'll look at the Bitcoin chart, of course, stuff like that. Tesla's rallying today. I put out a chart, a Tesla chart, I guess a couple of days ago, maybe yesterday, on X. And I said, why aren't you long Tesla? And I heard some interesting reasons. None of them really have to do with the structure that's in there. And if you're looking at that structure, I see little to no reason why you shouldn't, if you're looking for an entry in Tesla, why you shouldn't already be in it. Okay. Seth says what'd you say? Most 401k investments suck. Get a self-directed 401k if your employer offers one, not financial advice. By the former financial advisor. But anyway, yeah, he's right. He's right. Self-directed 401ks are absolutely the best way to go if you're willing to understand about markets and learn about markets and do that. But here's the thing. Again, retirement accounts and everything, they have the S&P in there. S&P has Coinbase and others, and those hold Bitcoin. And so guess what, folks? Even if you don't like Bitcoin, if you've got a retirement account set up in your 401k or whatever that just gets automatically done for you, I'll all but guarantee you have Bitcoin exposure through that, again, through things like Coinbase and whatnot. So, for the people that hate Bitcoin, I wouldn't be surprised to see that they've got some retirement accounts in there that have all that in it, right? Jojo says, think about all the young people that will start a 401k now that they can get crypto exposure. It is interesting, right? But again, there's no reason not to pay attention to the charts and what's going on, guys, all right? So let's kind of jump in here. Let me see. I got to pull up a chart. Let me share my screen here for you guys. Matt, what's up, man? Good to see you checking in here. Let's see if we can do a little something here. There we go. This is the infamous chart. Now, here's the thing. We have a great setup here. Long story short, guys, the reason why I remain bullish here is because what we have is accumulation with the spring here. Then we have this large candle spread with that large spike of volume up through that resistance. That's our jump across the creek. Show of strength at the top. We pulled back to the creek, printing our back up to the edge of the creek. So, this is reaccumulation. This should be a smaller reaccumulation, and ultimately we should head up higher. We rallied up into the monthly pivot, pulled back and have broken out. And we broke out here on a spike of volume, compared to the stuff locally here. Larger candle spread, close above it into, just basically that high volume node there, this mid-range of this consolidation right here, guys. So it's a nice clean move up. Now, I've been potentially looking at this maybe as some sort of resistance, but I don't like when we kind of break out into it slightly and then pull back into it. So for me, that's not really a great thing. So I am actually going to go ahead and get rid of this now. Let me see here. And then I think we can probably look at more, again, of this as a reaccumulation here. And so what does that mean? Well, what this means now, let me get this throw under wedge support, all this out of here. And what does this mean? Well, let me get rid of this here. We still have the tweezer bottoms down here on these candles. That's just where the wicks are pretty much the same level. Let's see if I can get rid of that there. Right here at the bottom, these two candles, you have this bullish engulfing candle. But what we end up having here is you would have like your buying climax, your automatic reaction selling climax here, your secondary test, your move down here into a last point of support. It didn't break down below. You can't see this. I'm going to move this so maybe you can see here. But you can see it didn't actually break down below, so there's no spring. So basically what's going on here is similar to what's going on here, just at an angle, just on this decline here. And so usually what happens is you'll get a rally up into the resistance and a pullback and then the breakout. So it's possible that may be what's going on here. We're looking for the impulsive breakout. All right. So that's what I'm looking at right now. The breakout above the monthly pivot looks good. My first thought is most likely we won't be breaking back down below this. Now there's no guarantees, but usually when you're getting the large candle spread, spike of volume on the breakout and close above it, usually it ends up holding a support, right? It respects that support there. So I'm just looking for my, breakout here. Based on this count, I've got this as a WXY Elliott wave count. So that's a 3-wave WXY here. It's a 3-wave decline. So if you break out above the second wave, and on this chart that's 119, 836, 23, it's probably right around whatever chart you're looking at. It's probably right around 119, 800. But if you're getting a breakout above that, that locks that in as 3 waves here, which is, again, corrective. And that should signal that you're heading to a new all-time high. Now, based on the height of this pullback, that gives us a $130,000 and some change target, like 130,700, something like that. So the setup is there. We'll see if we get the follow through on it right now. But as long as that pivot's holding there on the daily, it's the monthly pivot there, I think we should be good to go up higher. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at here. Again, my big picture, the reason why I'm bullish overall is because of this reaccumulation structure here, the jump across the creek, and then this appears to be reaccumulation with the volume and price action here. The only 2 spikes on this entire move down, this one right here, which was the bounce, and this one right here, which was the breakdown into the low. Other than that, everything else off this point here, volume's dropping off. That's what you like to see. So all you're saying is demand showed up here, and then demand showed up here, which again makes sense because if you look over here, you have this low volume node, well, a high volume node coming into a low volume node here. But there's so many ways to look at this. And I'm only talking about a few of them here that would give you reason to think that that low should be in overall and that we should continue up higher. But again, in case you thought that there were guarantees in trading, there are no guarantees in trading, folks. There are no guarantees, absolutely none at all in trading, all right? So, well, I say that. The only guarantee is that you're going to lose money from time to time. And the newer you are, absolutely the more money you will lose and the more often you're going to lose it. There's no 2 ways about that. You can sit here and argue with me all day long till you're blue in the face, and you're not making a case. I've been doing this. This is my 31st year doing this. All markets, basically from stocks to futures and forex and energy and precious metals and crypto since January of 2017. So everything, it's always the same. Crypto is not special, folks. Stop believing anybody that says, oh, crypto is different. No, it's not. Every way that you trade with other markets, you trade crypto. People are just more taken aback by the extreme of price movement. But even since COVID, stocks have been doing a lot of the same thing. So you can't even say that as far as that goes anymore, okay? Sats brings up Tesla secures the Texas rideshare permit for robo-taxi operation. I did see that. Yep. And again, should be long in Tesla, right? But we'll talk about that in just a minute here. Let's jump over here to the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. So this is the 3-day here. And we have got 5 waves up and a 3-wave pullback. So that's a 1 and a 2. Gives us a minimum expected wave 3 target at 0.041. So this is the next target up here. And then a minimum expected wave 5 target at 0.04773. And around that point, or maybe it'll push up a bit higher toward that resistance, then we'll get a bigger pullback. We'll get like a 1, 2, and then the 3 is going to be the breakout here. But man, oh man, look at this. Let's zoom out a little bit here. Look at the monthly on this here. Look at that. Nice impulsive movement up through the S1 pivot there, the yearly S1 pivot. We get some volume here so you can see it relatively. But again, you had this bullish engulfing candle with a spike of volume for the month of May. Hit the S1 pivot. Month of June, consolidated there. Descending channel EQ providing support. Last month, July, big breakout, big volume, boom, popping up. So this really looks good. Impulsive breakout and close of a weekly candle above this yearly pivot here at 0.043 is going to signal that that low is probably in, and we're going to break out above here and continue heading up higher. But ultimately, really a great pullback here. All we did was pull back to this point, guys. That's all we did. We hit it here in December of 19, January of 20. We hit it here in February of 21. And then we just hit it here on, what's it called here? I got to move my thing out of the way so I can read it. Right there. April, we hit it there. But this is clean. This looks good. So if I'm looking at it, I think, we continue to head out there. And what does that mean? Well, that means if you like alts, they should continue to perform. And if you're at TWC, we've had tons of great alt trades already. Every evening, Monday through Friday, every weekday, as long as it's not a holiday, I do a market wrap that's anywhere from 15 to 40 minutes long. We have upwards of 20 plus charts, which includes futures, stocks, and crypto. And man, oh man, we've been just doing amazing here for the last few months on that. Really kind of finding the lows with altcoins and being able to ride them up. And that's what you should be wanting to do, right? I mean, if you're not here, guys, to understand how do you get in here, or how do you get in here, or how do you get in here? If you're not in trading to learn that, what are you even doing? It's possible to do it consistently. I do it consistently. I post a lot of those trades, multiple, usually like 2 or 3 trades a year publicly, where we're finding bottoms in stocks or crypto. I do even more also in TWC, right? And so my goal at TWC, in case you don't understand, in case you've never heard really, is my goal is to teach you to be able to understand when you should be buying here or here. So that way you're riding this up and you're not trying to buy the breakout. You're letting everybody else buy the breakout and FOMO in and just carry you even further into greater profit. The difference between 50 or 100 R and 9R or 5R. We talk about this all the time in our weekly trainings that we have at TWC. Everybody thinks, I can go in there, I can do this. Most people can't do it on their own. How do we know? Because most people lose all their money within 90 days of joining the markets, of getting into the markets. So you can say whatever you want, and you can think you're special, but at the end of the day, the odds are you likely aren't. Because 97 out of every 100 in the first 90 days are out. They lose money. Other ones are in, but they keep losing money, keep putting more money in and losing it. Okay? You have to be honest with yourself, guys. I cannot stress this enough. You are not going to be able to become the trader that you say you want to be if you can't even be honest with yourself about how much effort you're really putting into it, about the lies that you tell yourself. I talk about this all the time. Humans are great at lying to ourselves and lying to other people. Oh, I'm trying so hard. I'm doing everything I can. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're half-assing it when you're doing it. You're goofing off with your friends instead of spending time learning, right? And again, if you want to spend time with friends, that's fine. I'm not saying not to do it. I'm saying if you want to be good at something, you have to put in consistency, discipline, focus, and effort that are required to learn it and to get good at it at first. Which means you have to give up other things, which are usually just doom scrolling on mindless scrolling there on social media, going and drinking with your buddies, whatever it is. You just got to decide what's important to you. But don't come and tell me or anybody else that it's important to you, and yet you continue to do those other things. That's what I'm saying. We're great at lying to ourselves and saying that we're doing the things, because then we don't have to take responsibility for the fact that we're not getting any better. And I'm going to tell you what right now, it is imperative when you're trading that you admit your mistakes, because that's the only way you're going to be honest about the fact that you made a mistake, which means now you have the opportunity to actually go back in and figure out what you screwed up. What did you do wrong? What was the mistake you made? So that way you don't make the mistake again. This has to be hitting home, folks. You're going to have so much trouble in trading if this is not hitting home. I'm not going to just going to sit out here and blow smoke up your rear and like the rest of all those influencers and everything out there. They want to follow you because they want some big number of followers. They want you to buy their stuff. They want a whole bunch of people buying their stuff so they can deal with the churn as people get in and find it's a waste of money. And they just told them what they wanted to hear. We're trying to combat all that. We're trying to do something different at TWC, which is why we don't have thousands of people there. Because people aren't quick to be honest. People aren't quick to listen to somebody that doesn't just blow smoke up the rear end and tell them what they want to hear. But if you get that figured out, you really do decide that you want to actually know what it's like to be consistently profitable. I'm going to tell you right, there is no better place. Between myself and Fibbo, Fibbo's over there as well with us. And when you join with the Liquidity cartography program, you also learn his stuff. You get access to everything he does, his trades, his system. But between the both of us, we've got almost 60 years of trading experience, guys. We don't work on gimmicks. We don't work on telling you what you want to hear so that you join. We tell you the truth. We say this is the way it is because we don't want you coming in with hopes that are ridiculous. We don't want you doing that. We want you to come in understanding what you're getting into so you can put forth the right kind of effort and you can actually see yourself benefit from it. And I'll tell you what, you join, if you put your head down, you get in there and you go through and you start doing something, within 30 days, you're going to see a difference. There's no way you can't. Just from the risk management that I teach alone, that's going to change your whole world as a trader. Think of it this way, and we'll go on to the next chart in a minute here. I try and make it understand because when you first come in to trading, right? We've all been there. We're all retail traders. We've all been there. The first thing we think is we're always thinking about the single trade we're on right that moment and how high it can possibly go. And in our heads, we're already spending all that money we make if it does this big thing we think it's going to do. The reality of it is, especially at the beginning before you know anything and you're not consistently profitable, is that you're going to be wrong about what it's going to do. So you're focused on the one thing that you can't control, okay? Rather than focusing on the one thing you can control, which is how much you lose, right? But here's the thing. If you're focusing on the one thing that you can't control, right? And that's what you're focused on. And and the odds are very much against you, right? So the odds are very much that you're going to be wrong. Then what that tells us is, since you're not focusing on proper risk management, you're likely to be wrong in all your pie in the sky dreams of that one trade. Odds are price is going to come back against you. And we know, because we see this day in and day out, that you're not going to be quick to cut your losers. And you're not going to cut them intelligently because you don't know how yet. So you're going to let them push against you. And the further it pushes against you, the more it affects you emotionally and psychologically. And it makes it more and more, believe it or not, the more it goes against you, the more difficult it makes it for you to exit the trade. So what does that tell us? That tells us then that the trades we're losing, which especially for new is pretty much all our trades, have a much, much, much greater negative effect on our capital account than the few trades that we win have a positive effect on that account. Okay? Think about what I just said. Seriously, because most don't think about this. But if you get it, it may change the entire way you're thinking about approaching markets. The odds are you're going to be wrong. The odds are you don't really understand proper risk management. The odds are the further price pulls against you, the more difficult it is for you to get out. So this tells you that your bad trades, which you're going to make many more of, especially the newer you are going to have each of them alone, not just as an aggregate, but each of them alone is going to have a significantly greater negative effect on your capital account than the few good trades that you get are going to have a positive effect on it. You are in a net downward spiral. This is the reality, right? This is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. And a lot of people don't want to listen to this. They tune me out because it's not what they want to hear. They don't want to hear it's easy. How do we know that people want the easy way out? How do we know that people don't want to do the work? They don't want to put the time and effort into it. Because of the plethora of custom-made indicators that are showing up everywhere promising you that they're going to tell you where to buy and sell. Every day. You think there's a lot of new cryptos coming out? You should really keep up with the indicator market. Find out how many indicators are coming out every day. And people will shell money into that. Here's the thing. Even if it can help you somewhat, the more you actually know about markets and liquidity and how it's flowing and all these things, the things that we teach, right? And proper risk management, the exponentially more effective those indicators can be. But if you don't know this other stuff, I can all but guarantee that the indicators you're using are going to leave you broke because you don't even understand, first of all, the risk management part of it. With that indicator, how does that indicator work? How should your risk management work with that indicator? How do you know which buy or sell signal to take? Because they're not all going to be correct. Nothing out there is 100%. But if you're learning about price action and volume and understanding that there's a method to the madness, price action is not random. There is a structure to that movement. Believe it. I'm telling you now. So you got to know these things. You got to get these things figured out if you want to have success. And then you have to think of trading as a marathon, not a sprint. It's never about the one trade you're on. It's always about the culmination of trades over time. Because it doesn't matter about that one trade. Sometimes you have a great trade. Some of your times you have a mediocre trade. Sometimes you're going to have a poor trade. Sometimes you're going to have a terrible trade. Okay? That doesn't matter. What matters is, does your equity curve go up over time? That's all that matters. Because trading is a game of making money. So the only thing that matters is, does your equity curve continue to rise? These are the hard truths that most people don't want to hear. Most people don't want to learn. Okay? Let me see here. Florian, what's up? Florian's pretty new with us. He's been here, I think, just over a month or two now. Risk management changed. It really does. It's hard to believe how much of a difference it makes. But if you could think back to what I was just saying about losing trades and how that has an infinitely greater negative effect on your capital account than the few trades that you win has a positive effect. When you figure that out, it just blows your mind how much more effective you become, right? With proper risk management. Come for the chart, stay for the knowledge, Colton. What else did you say there? If you're on the fence about joining TWC, just go ahead and hop over, give it a try. Yeah, exactly. But again, guys, if you're not going to come over and do the work, if you're not going to go through the lessons, show up, and if you can't show up for the live trainings, it's fine. I record them all. You have access to them. Watch them at your convenience. But if you can't make a few hours out of a week, if you can't make time for a few hours out of a week to do the stuff you need to do what you say you want to do, which is to get good, right? Then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's free or whether it costs $1 million. You'll have the same result from it. Okay? Mr. Awesome says, what'd you say, man? I just withdrew some of my profit this week. Great feeling to spend the money you earn trading. It is fantastic, right? It really is. Trading has given me such an amazing life, really. And it's meant that I don't have to work for somebody, right? I mean, I got, with our business, we have customers, we got our students. I work for you, but I don't have to listen to somebody above me trying to tell me that this is the way things need to work, right? And for me, that's huge. That's huge, even more than the money. That's huge. But man, that's why I do this so much. That's why I push this so much. I'm not altruistic. I don't believe in altruism. But you don't have to. What I get inside when a student comes up to me and says, listen, it finally clicked. Oh my God. Or like Jonathan's just been running me ragged lately. He's like, man, my profit factor is up 1.04. And then next day, 1.06. And the next day, 1.07. I'm like, it freaking makes me feel amazing that I've helped him get to this point that he can do this. Now, he's done the work. I'll never take away from him. But for me, I was able to show it to. I was able to teach him the things that I know so that he can get that and he can recognize that kind of profitability. Or Alvin talking about how well, his retirement accounts have been doing. And it just, man, I can't begin to explain to you how freaking amazing I feel. So I don't have to be altruistic. I do it because it makes me feel unbelievable. And guess what? You benefited from it anyway, even without me being altruistic, right? So anyway, let's jump on the next chart here, guys. Ethereum chart. I mentioned we hit 4,000 up here, right? Right there, $4,013.67 here on the Ethereum USD chart on Coinbase. Now let's zoom out a little bit. Swing high over here in December of 24. All-time high is just a bit higher up here, not quite $5,000. About $800 up. About 20% from where we're at. Now, what do we have here? Three-wave pullback. We've got this range here with what appears to be, based on the volume and price action here, appears to be a spring here, bullish engulfing candle on support on your monthly. I mean, my God, you should have been long. There's no reason why you shouldn't have been long, at least on the 4th of August. There's no reason with this setup that you should not have been long there, okay? Now here, it looks like we've got a 1 and a 2. So that gives us a minimum expected wave 3 target up here at 4,200 and wave 5 up here at 4,371. Minimum expected. But this pullback here into the pivot and the bounce higher, this pivot should hold this support. That should be a low there as we continue to rally higher there. So again, we looked at an Ethereum Bitcoin chart and how we expect that to continue to go higher. We see Ethereum here continuing to look like it should go higher. Okay? So, I mean, if you're not long, but see, you should have been long down here. Here's the thing. Most people are waiting to go long on this breakout here, or, again, this breakout here. You absolutely, with what I teach, there is no reason, if you're watching this chart, that you wouldn't have been long right here. Right? Put your stop loss. If you're just doing it from the daily, you put your stop loss down there. Right up that 200% is going to get you almost a 6R. You're going to make $6 for every dollar you put into the trade here, right? But I don't stop there, right? Every week, 3 times a week, we do trainings, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And in every one of those trainings, I talk about how do we get in with a trade like, instead of here on the daily, how do we get in with something more like that, right? And so now instead of that, so now you have a 17R. You're making $17 for every dollar that you risk here versus, again, up here where you're making maybe $5.5. The difference, not that this is a bad trade. This is a great trade on the daily time frame. But you should be figuring out, understanding how to get in much lower down here on a different time frame. Because the difference is 5 or basically 20. Would you rather be making $5 for every dollar you put in or $20 for every dollar you put in, hitting the same target? Okay. LXT said guilty of longing Ethereum too late. Man, honestly, I'll be honest with you, if you were of the group that believed that Ethereum was dead, blah blah blah, yada yada yada, and whatnot, down here, you were late. But there were tons of opportunities to get in here, this range right here, and this range right here. So, I mean, you could have been in from way down here, riding this up, guys. The difference Let's just say you waited till this one right here. If you had gotten in over here with what I teach, probably would have been something about like this here. Target being this swing high up here. Without having to think too hard, you're already up 23R. If you're hitting that 4,800, you're already up there 31. You're making $31 for every dollar you put in. And you didn't have to think about it. You were down here. Guess what? Every time it gets here and people are freaking out, waiting, oh my God, I got to wait for it to break out. You're way down here. You're already exceptionally in profit. You're not stressed at all. Coming up here again, hits here, pulls back. You get stressed. Rallies up, gets rejected, pulls back. You're stressed again. Rallies up here, you're stressed again. Is it going to continue up, right? Trading isn't just about understanding how to read charts, which very few people honestly do very well online, okay, in social media. But it's infinitely more important that you also understand how to trade what you're reading. And not just how to trade it, but how do you maximize your return on that? Okay? Let me see here. Let's jump over to TSLA, guys. Tesla. Man, oh man, this has been so great. Honestly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, A, B, C, D, E. 4. We're going to 5, right? Now, let me see here. Based on the height of the pullback here for this wave 4, this triangle, the whole height. Yeah, that gives us a pattern target up here at around $438, $440. To confirm this triangle, breaking out above wave D here, just overhead at 338, indicates it's probably complete. Breaking out above wave B at 357.54 adds confidence to the count and says that's likely complete. We're headed up at least up here to around 438, 440, which just gets you your previous kind of resistance area. But even, I mean, there were so many ways you could have gotten in here, right? You could have gotten in like right here or right in this area here. Getting in right here would have been great as well. You look at this range right here. We just swept that low right there. Heck, even buying the breakout on that monthly pivot would have been great. But most people are going to wait for the breakout up here at almost $370. Or they're going to wait for this breakout up here at $488.50. Why? No. What's likely to happen is we get this move up here. So we get a wave 1 up here. Then we get a wave 2, pull back into the triangle. And then we get a wave 3, new all-time highs. Most likely that's what's going to happen. But people are going to sit out there and wait. They're going to wait. Why are you going to wait if you don't have to? Well, and most people are going to, when I say that, they're going to say, well, I don't know how else to do this. Exactly my point. Stop worrying about fundamental stuff and whatever. Fundamental's always lagging, guys. Fundamental information is always lagging. Charts are as close as you can get to real-time understanding. Why? Because if people, generally speaking, social moves, Fibble and I talk about this all the time. If social mood, if people in general are feeling pretty okay about things, they're going to put money into riskier things like the stock market, like crypto, like Bitcoin, right? If people are feeling unsure or insecure or nervous or concerned about what's going on in their lives and everything, right? They're going to stop putting money in. They're going to take money out. They may even short. What you see on the charts is as close as you can get to real-time understanding of what the masses in the aggregate are feeling. All fundamentals fall after. They're always what's happened in the past, or speculation on what may go forward if A, B, and C, and D, and E, and F, and all these other fundamental things all do the right thing, right? But we know that price doesn't move randomly. that it moves in understandable ways, in similar ways. Won't be exact, but there'll be similarities in the way it moves. So it's much easier to learn that than it is to try and learn the fundamental side of it. And this is coming from a guy who has a background in finance and economics, right? Who's got 3 master's degrees and a law degree, right? I mean, so I'm telling you, I understand those things. And I'm telling you right now, you are far better off learning how to properly understand market movement on the charts. That's right. Smart money can't hide their footprints on the charts, Alvin. Exactly right. Okay. Let me see here. Mark, man. Water backup issue in the basement, man. Take care of that. Get that fixed. It gets cold up there in Canada pretty quickly. I don't want it to freeze overnight and then you have ice skating in your basement. Let me see here. Let me kind of catch up here. Let me talk about the SPY and the NDX here real quick, and then I've got a couple requests here I'll take a look at, okay? Here we are. Everybody freaking out on Friday. We dropped off, right? And what did I tell our students and everything? I said, to me, smelled a lot like August, whatever it was, 5th or 7th of last year, without the scare of the yen carry trade collapsing. But I said most likely next week we're going to see this rally up. Exactly, we got NDX here. Today hit 23,598.69, which is above 23,589.37. So here a week later, we've instantly recovered that terrible, Thursday into Friday there. Week later, new all-time high. With the SPY, the S&P here, we're almost there. Today so far, we've had a 637.36 high and just need to get the all-time high up here at 639.85, which we're likely to do. We're likely to continue to do that. Based on the height of this pullback, the NDX has a pattern target of 24,208. SPY has a pattern target of 652.90 based, again, on the height of the pullback there. Just a simple price action target. I'd be looking that way. But people have been scared. People not been trading. People have been trying to short the whole way. Why? Because they were scared. Because they didn't know what was going on. And it was a quick move down. But over the last year, that's what? The third one we've had. We had August of last year. We had April 7th of this year. And then we have this one. Everything's been the same. Rallied right back up to new all-time highs after every one of them. Now, that's not going to happen forever, but right now there was no reason to think that the top was in. So if you were out there scared thinking the top was in, my God, join us. You need to join us. You have nothing, absolutely nothing to lose. You either become a better trader or you're getting 2 times your money back. At least while there's a few more seats still open. Once they're gone, though, remember, we only opened 20 of them to begin with, so we're not opening up any more for that promo and that guarantee. So you get the half off on the annual, plus you get a 2x guarantee. Okay? XMR. Let me see here. Just make one here. Make a copy of this. Come on. TradingView is so slow lately. I got too many charts in it, probably. What's today? The 8th, isn't it? Yeah. XMR USDT. How many of y'all are going to sit up there and keep lying to yourselves? Oh, man. That's really pretty on that pullback there on that daily. The first thing I see is this is 3 waves. And it looks pretty even. It looks pretty close to 1-to-1. Yeah, look at that. Almost exactly wave A and wave C being 1-to-1 there. I like, let me get some of this out of the way here. I like this capitulation volume, this large candle, and even larger wick there. capitulation volume here at the end of this downtrend. Support right there on the monthly S2 pivot. And it's right where you would expect it to be, right in this area here. Right there at the high volume node, wicks down into low volume node. What's going on here? Reset and oversold on RSI. Stochastic RSI threatening to cross bullishly here and oversold. I mean, my initial thought is we'll probably rally up off here. Yeah, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 waves down there. I think that's it. But a breakout above 358.08 is going to add confidence to that count and signal that that low is there. Let me see here. How far on a pullback did we have here? So let's see. 1, 2, 5. This looks like this is potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I'm looking at this, I don't have a lot of time to do a whole bunch of analysis here, but just real quick. This looks like this could be a 1, 2 here, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which just gives us a 1, 2 here. So potentially something like this. There we go. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe a 5 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if so, this gives us around a 50% pullback, exactly what we'd expect. By the way, also notice, where is it finding support? Previous resistance as support. You want to do that. Oh my gosh. So this would be another 1, 2 in here then. But yeah, I would look for a breakout above 358.08 to pop out higher on XMR there. Let's see here. What you guys say here? I'm just looking to see what you got here. Tom Lee's BMNR. BMNR. Let's see what we got here. Oops. There we go. That's what you're looking at? Yeah, I mean, nice move. Look at where it's bouncing off. So right there at that high volume ledge right there. I mean, yeah. I can definitely see that running up there. Let's zoom out to the weekly. Yeah, so we got a 1 and a 2 here. This would give us, so it's already up to 200 there. Let me see. But this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think wave 3 is still in progress. I think that's like a 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4. Whoops. Things keep popping up everywhere. So if I have to do this and we go, let me see here. We pull back for wave 4. I mean, we barely pulled back 38.2, just beyond 38. So it's a clean wave 4. which would suggest a pattern target based on the height of the pullback there. Wave 5 of what appears to be 3 at 438.90. 438.90. And so that's what I think we have. I think we've got a 1 and then a 2, and then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll get a 5 of 3, get a 4 on the pullback, and then we'll get a 5 out higher. But now this 4 here could still turn into a triangle or even 3 waves up and then 5 waves back down as a flat. But right now, popping out above this third wave without going any lower here, continuing to rally above $59 is going to lock this in as 3 waves here, it looks like. So, yeah, I think that's a lot of upside, guys. 438 or so from right now, we're at 51, right? But breaking out above that, I think, sets up that move higher overall. So, yeah, I like it. Looks pretty good. Let me see here. If a lot of people, what's your question here? What's up? I see Sarong. What's going on, man? Haven't talked to you for a while. If a lot of people go long Ethereum against Bitcoin, does it push Bitcoin price lower? No. I mean, it could. All you're seeing with the Ethereum Bitcoin price is that Bitcoin is rallying faster than, or that Ethereum is rallying faster than Bitcoin. That's all it tells you. So that Bitcoin and Ethereum can both be going up, but just Ethereum's going up at a much quicker pace. Okay? Does that make sense? So yeah, just because the Ethereum Bitcoin price goes up, right? Just people are longing it, doesn't mean that Bitcoin has to go down. Bitcoin can just not rally. You know, Ethereum could like rally on steroids, right? And Bitcoin could just do its normal rallying. But that Ethereum versus Bitcoin price is going to continue to go up because Ethereum's, you know, exponentially rallying compared to Bitcoin. Okay. Brian Riley, what's up, my man? What do you say? Turbo? Turbo. Let's see what we got here. Turbo USDT. Last time I looked was beginning of May. What are we looking at now? Okay. Let's see. Is that basically done there? Or what are we looking at here? So it looks like a 1 and a 2. Looks like a 1, 2, 3. 4 is a running flat, maybe. Or it could even be a triangle. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it looks like 3 and 4. A little bit deeper than 50% there, but still all right. 1, 2. This, I'm going to assume, is a 1 and 2 right here. Right up to that new all-time high there. And why are these coming up like that? Give me just a minute here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to do it this way. There we go. All right. Now we'll stick these the other way. Quickest, easiest way to figure out what the heck was going on there without having to figure it out. All right. Yeah, but so the pullback here looks probably closer to 61.8. Yep, 61.8, almost exactly. Let's go on the daily. We're on the 12-hour. So it looks like probably right around this area here Let me see. Probably right up about that area around 0.00534 or so is where we got to break out to add confidence to this. But if that's a 1 and a 2, this might even be a 1 and a 2. Not overly convinced it's a 3 and a 4. This is definitely a 3 of sorts here, though, but it could be that larger degree 3 here. But nonetheless, locally here, this as a 1 and a 2 would give us a minimum expected wave 3 target locally here at 0.0164, basically. 5 waves up around 0.022827 is what I'd be looking at on that. So that's a new all-time high on that. But yeah, looking pretty decent at the moment here. Yeah. I'm not going to be able to get to all these charts, guys. I wasn't planning, honestly, to do any of the charts. Let me see here, though. But I'll try to get through a couple of them. Solana. I mean, let's get out of the 15-minute there. To the daily here. Okay. Let me see here. My first thought is, let me see. I think we got like a 1, 2, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4 is a triangle, which has it complete prior to the wave 1 swing high. And then we have a 5 here. So then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that pullback is probably going to be at least 50%. Yep. And we've broken back out above the monthly pivot here. Looks like A, B, and C coming down. So we need to break out above 195.26 to add confidence to the count. With this as a 1 and a 2. That'll give us a minimum expected wave 3 target at 345, wave 5 target at 416.5. Locally here, we've got what appears to be a 1 and a 2. We should get 5 up usually right around the swing high. So yeah, 5 waves up gets us right there around 196, right there at that same area we're looking to get to. So yeah, I think we're doing good there. I think we get through that, and then ultimately, so we'll probably like 5 waves up toward this swing high area, 3 waves pullback, so then you get a 1 and a 2, and then heading up. And again, we've got 5 waves up off this low over here from June 22nd. 1, 2, 5 waves up around 416.5, just off that. So I think it's a pretty good, decent target there. Let me see here. Generally, people moving away from Bitcoin to alts can have a drawdown effect on Bitcoin, right? Sure. If you have less buying going on, yeah. Let me see here. Pepe. I don't know when the last time I looked at Pepe was, other than just the price daily. May 9th, there we go. So this is what I was looking at. These stupid things. I don't know why they're looking like that. All right. So we're bumping right up here into the monthly pivot. Yeah, A, B, C here. So we have it right there. It looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Then 3-wave pullback. Get all this stuff off there. The pullback was small for wave 3 though, or wave 4 there, but nonetheless. So this looks like a 1, 2. And this locally here looks like A, B, C down here. So looks like a 1 and a 2 here. But you're going to want to see a breakout to kind of confirm this as a 1 and a 2 here. You need a breakout here. Oops. Above that right there at all your zeros was at 4 zeros and 1, 3, 1, 4, 2. You want to break out above that. If you get that from here, locally, that gives you a minimum expected wave circle 3 target there at 24,921. 5 waves up there at 31,037 on that. Let me see here. Actually, you know what? I've got a SUI chart in here. Oh, that's going to show up on the page. Let me see here. Where are we at? There we are. Yeah. Bernardo, just watch the evening updates, man. I pretty much talk about SUI every night. But yeah, it looks like we're probably done here. Good chance. Breakout above 3.96 adds confidence to that. And then breaking out higher gives us a 1, 2, just shy of the 50% there. Minimum expected wave 3 target at 952 there on that if we can get that breakout above 3.96 and then the breakout higher. So yeah, nothing's changed since yesterday, really, or last night there. Bernardo's with us in the Liquidity Cartography group there. So he has access to the evening market updates. Apparently, yeah, I did. Well, you better go look. Did I not do SUI last night? I might have done. Did I not do SUI last night? I thought I did these right here. Maybe I didn't last night. So I did it 4 out of 5 days this week. By tonight. Let me see here. Let me kind of catch up with y'all here. Is GUN, are you talking about, is that a crypto or GUN as a stock there, Peter? Let me know. Let me see here. STX. What's up, Martin? Yeah, let me see here. See if I've got it over here. There we go. See, this is what I mean, folks. All these all charts basically looking the same. Looks like I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. One and two. We're going to want to see a breakout above 0.8716 to add confidence to this count. But locally, that'll give us this 1, 2 here, minimum expected wave 3 target up there around 1.657, which gives us a wave 5 up there around 2.06. The larger degree wave 3 is already right there around 1.95. So I think we're looking pretty good there. The larger degree wave 3 up there around $2 before we get that larger degree wave 4 pullback and then up. So yeah, STX, like everything else, looking like the setup's there. Let me see here. Hey, you're welcome, Shy. Shay, I'm not sure which way to pronounce that. I apologize. Let me see here. Crypto, yes, not too old. Gaming category, off the grid game token. All right. I appreciate when you guys let me know if it's a USDT coin. There's no way I can possibly keep up with all of them, and I don't really pay attention to a lot of the lower shitcoin type ones or lower like that. So you just have to let me know, and that way I don't like pull up a stock chart with it. Let me see here. So Gun USDT. All right, let's make a copy here. Oh, no, this is the wrong one. I'm in the wrong one here. All right. Gun. Oops. Gun. There we go. All right. Y'all are making me stay longer than I expected to, I'll be honest with you. Was not planning on staying this long, as I said at the beginning of the show, but here you go. Yeah, there's really not a whole lot on this. With this level of pullback, my first thought would be this is a 1 and a 2 because you pulled back probably almost 70.5%. Yeah, 78.6. I do like this. And so you can see right here where you have the resistance and then the support right here and then support again. That's a good sign. Rallied up into the pivot, pulled back, and then breaking out now. That's a good sign. So my running assumption is this is a 1 and this is a 2, which means overall minimum expected wave 3 target, almost where I drew it right there, 0.076.5, which gives you then a pullback into the high volume node for wave 4. Wave 5 gets you right up here. I consider this a new all-time high because I don't consider, we don't ever really consider the first day the drop into the exchange. So I would consider this the all-time high here on this Binance chart at 0.08475. And so as you can see, that kind of takes us just above that, around 10 cents or so. Yeah, okay. So this looks like a WXY here. Looks like A, B, C is W. And then we have A, B, C, D, E as a triangle, X, and then A, B, C, Y here. So double zigzag on that correction, 78.6 pullback. Triangle for wave X here. Let's see here. So what we're basically looking for is a breakout above right around 0.03564. And that should indicate the low is likely in, and we're going to break out. It adds confidence to this count. And so I would look for wave 3 up here at 0.0765. But again, usually what happens is you're going to get 5 waves up right around the swing high and then a pullback and then a continuation. So wouldn't be surprised to see this kind of pull up there and then pull back into this area before kind of breaking out and heading higher. But yeah, looking all right there, man. Looking all right. Shy is what it is. Okay, it is shy. Okay, see, I said that right the first time. Should always go with my instincts. I lived enough around the world to have a pretty good track record of getting the names right. But I always freak out. I won't ever disrespect anybody. But anyway, yeah. So there you go, guys. That's what I'm looking at. Geez, I basically made it the full show here, hour and a half. So I appreciate you all joining in as always. If you would do me a favor, please, share the link. Hit the thumbs up, leave a comment. All those things. Marketing against these guys who are better at marketing than they are at trading is really difficult. So anything that you can do to help me is really greatly appreciated. Again, when you share the link, when you comment on it, when you hit the thumbs up, the like, whatever, when you're following the channel, stuff like that, goes a long way toward helping the videos get out there a bit. So I appreciate you. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Be safe out there with your trading as always. If you don't do it yet, figure out what proper risk management is and do it. And if you want to learn the best way to do it, join us. We'd love to have you there. We'd love to welcome you in. You see a lot of our great members are sitting here talking in the chat here. And they'll tell you, the honesty, what they feel about it. But again, there's absolutely been no better time to join than right now. If you can snag one of those seats that's left for the half off for the annual plus the 2 times the money back guarantee. So that's it, guys. It is Friday, Eric. Yes, I know. I'm excited too. By the way, guys, I have a lot of free newsletters that I put out. I got the Market Breakdown newsletter, which goes out Monday through Friday, every weeknight. We do have a paid version with chart setups there that goes out Saturday, and then a midweek risk that comes out on Wednesdays with that as well. We got a free newsletter called Applied Socioeconomic Theory. You can get it at socioeconomictheory.substack.com. The Market Breakdown you can get at themarketbreakdown.com. I do every Sunday night, weekly, I do a newsletter for the Bitcoin miners. It's called the Bitcoin Miner Stocks Report.com. And that's really way underpriced there. I think it got like $20 a month. But if you're trading miner stocks or you want to learn a little bit more about miners, that's the place to get that. Hashandhedge.substack.com is another one. Trader's Edge Daily. That's one you should definitely jump on. tradersedgedaily.substack.com. That sends out every morning. It'll send out a very short email, newsletter. And it's just one thought about trading for that particular day. And it kind of helps you understand the real way to look at things, and the importance of looking, doing these things and that things. And it tells you, a little action that you can do to kind of up your trading game as well. So that one's free as well. Yeah, I think those are all the ones I got out there right now. But yeah. So let me see. What'd you say there, Florian? Again, just the risk management course alone is already worth the membership. I appreciate that, man. I put a lot of effort into that because, again, you can learn about targets and everything else all you want, but if you don't have proper risk management, you don't understand how to do that, you're going to lose money. There's no 2 ways about it, guys. Anyway, so, hey, I've got a lot of free information out there. I've got some paid information. But again, if you're serious about trading, think about investing some money into it. Get serious about it. Don't just kind of say you're serious and goof around for 3, 4, 5 years, just not really putting in much effort or learning the correct way to do things, okay? And again, whether that's me or somebody else, though obviously I know what I teach and I know it works. I don't know, really what everybody else does, but, make that investment in yourself. It's not an expense, guys. It's an investment. If you can come in, if you can pay, $1,000 a year for something and you make $1,000 that year and then you make $1,000 every year after that, obviously it's well worth it, right? If you make $1,000 in and then, you're making $4,000, I mean, it doesn't take much to make that money back. And that's just in the charts that we talk about. That's not even getting in there and learning. But if you come in, definitely be prepared to learn. All right. Thank you so much for joining in as always, folks. Remember, the only thing you control is how much you lose. Please keep working on that risk management. If you join us, jump in it quick. Use the TWOX, 2X, the word 2 with the letter X as the promo for the annual for Liquidity cartography. And you'll get access to everything we do, everything Fibbo does. You'll get access to our head traders, Vince and Andrew, and all their analysis and setups. These guys, man, if you're trading daily, Vince would have had you making your money back easily this past month. Andrew has usually a little bit longer term swing trades. Absolutely. He gets these things a lot of times before you're seeing them anywhere else, guys. It just takes one of those trades with the way Andrew sees it. It's paying for itself, guys. I'm just telling you, we've got so many ways for you to do this before you even start learning. So jump in there, do it. We'd love to welcome you in. Other than that, y'all have a great weekend. Trade safe. And I'll see you next Wednesday for Beards and Bitcoin, all right? Take care, everybody.